place, it was Congress that approved that when they were still allies with President BBM. Why did they give confidential funds to the Vice President? Won't it boomerang also?
Well,
At that time, allies pa kasi sila.
we cannot question the wisdom of Congress
In fact, Alan Peter Cayetano, Senator, stood up and said, it should have been given not to the DepEd but to the VP's office when that budget was being deliberated, I think in the BICAM.
well, as they say, it's always 2020 vision afterwards.
They gave her the leeway kasi magka-allies pa sila noon.
Correct.
Baka naman may sabihin si VP na hindi nyo gusto marinig. Pag nag-testify siya.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Madam Vice President, bring it on.
Enzo Recto, kalaban ang katiwalian at kasinungalingan, kakampi sa katotohanan at kabutihan.
Now, a lawyer has said, be careful what you wish for. Voluminous daw ang mga papeles na ito. Will you be able to make heads or tails of these documents in time?
Oh yes, because first, yung voluminous na yan is hindi naman lahat ipipresent as evidence. No? It's
But you have to pour over them.
You have to pour, and as we lawyers say, nothing beats preparation. So, you cannot go to court unarmed naman. Dapat may ammunition. Pag sinasabing unexplained wealth, bakit unexplained? So, we have to show pattern. Sinasabi nila, bakit pati yung period of time when she was not vice president, why are you still getting the bank records? Why are you still getting the records of the husband? Unless she already had an assassin kill the husband for 5,000 pesos, she's still married to him. And these are conjugal funds. That's why kasama rin yung mga bank accounts ng husband. And we will show through the evidence and the bank records a pattern. Kasi dapat may baseline yan eh.
Pipili lang kayo nung talagang
Yes.
parang
Relevant.
okay.
Kung ano yung relevant. As a matter of fact, just to show
Parang
you,
smoking gun.
to show you kung kadami, how much, I don't know if I can repeat it, but I will say that one bank said that the subpoena documents of this bank will fill up 3 vans.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. So sabi ng Office of the Clerk of Court, sabi ni Clerk of Court natin, sabi niya, can you imagine that's one bank? Can you imagine may prosecution, may defense, no? That's why the question is, will the Clerk of Court of the Senate also give copies to the prosecution? Kasi subpoena documents namin yan, no? In court, all of course, because
and to the defense, of course. So that's a lot of paper. Some I understand are in USBs.
They will be in USBs, but at the end of the day, you will still have to go through all of the documents.
Okay, will there be something akin to a pre-trial conference again? Because you have to mark these.
Correct.
And you have to agree, both prosecution and defense, right?
Correct.
I mean, to spare the court again from a lengthy Q&A or
Tama
trial.
ka says, no? But, you know, it's lengthy, but it's necessary. It's necessary because the documents, as we say, they speak for themselves. Hindi na kailangan i-prove. Kasi, although in the House Committee on Justice, we already show that. The prosecution already,
using
the
AMLA documents.
Yes.
But you know what Attorney Panelo said here? Misleading because some are, some transactions are the same or the money is the same pero parang na-multiply several times because, let's say, if you transfer it to another bank, it's the same money. You transfer it to a money market or some other instrument, nadodoble siya. So misleading daw ang count.
I think misleading ang statement ni Attorney Panelo is misleading because if you, for instance, money in, money out, if it's money out, where did it go? Was it spent or was it converted? Kagaya ng ano. If you had cash in bank, because we recall, yung column sa SALN ni Vice President, walang cash in bank. Where did it go? Did she buy properties? Then she should have a column that says properties. Hindi ba? So it is not as if you're counting it twice. If it was out, then it should not be there. If it is still there,
Or if it were converted to another asset.
then it should still be there. So that's not double
So, misleading yun.
misleading yun.
Okay. Now, three vans, is that unusual? Or suspicious? To use the debate in the,
I know.
was it yesterday at the
Unusual,
impeachment court?
yeah.
Unusual. Pero kung,
Unusual yan.
kung almost 20 years naman, siguro naman, madami.
Madami, but if one bank has 3 vans, can you imagine how many subpoenaed banks we ask, how many documents there are, so how many bank accounts are there? So, kailangan malaman natin yan eh.
And this is the last article that you're presenting, so you have to prepare as early as now before you do that.
Well, we still have, right now, ongoing is confidential funds,
And we
which is separate from unexplained wealth, at meron pang isa, bribery. No?
Oo nga eh. Itong confidential funds is misuse of government funds, right? And we understand that you will finally be appearing in court and cross-examining or
Presenting
evidence. Yes? Can we say that now?
Yes, but I won't tell you who. Kasi, syempre, pag sinabi kong mag-a-appear ako at mag-present ng tatapatan ako ng katapat,
Oh.
kung meron man. Yabang.
Ang
ano?
yabang.
It's very mayabang.
Ang yabang.
No, it comes with the term. I mean, you know, it says, 48 years naman tayo. No?
Okay. Itong nangyaring pag-present sa land bank branch managers, parang it was just laying the foundation.
Correct.
So, we weren't expecting anything jarring, anything bombastic. Right?
Correct.
It's just to establish that these were the funds that refer to the confidential funds.
That's correct. Because, you know, a court case is like telling a story. You don't start at the end or the middle. You start at the beginning. Meron bang pera? Is the first question. Oh, may pera kasi meron yan, mga cheque. In cash. Remember, it is in cash. Even for land bank officials, it was unusual.
Unusual, but not necessarily illegal. It's just unusual. That is where you come in.
That is the next story. Kung na-withdraw yan in cash as confidential funds, was it used for the purposes intended? Kasi klarong-klaro may joint circular yan eh. A joint circular of the pertinent government agencies which indicates or guidelines on how to use intelligence funds or confidential funds. There are guidelines. So titignan natin, bakit, saan dinala to? Yung bang pambili ng mga medicines, confidential funds ba yun? Yung pangrenta ng mga safe houses, saan mga safe houses na yan? Meron bang resibo? Yung pagbigay daw ng mga rewards, yung pagbili ng mga sari-sari. Chairs and tables, Jesus Christ, chairs and tables, what have they got to do with confidential funds? So, yung use ng confidential funds or misuse ng confidential funds, yun ang susunod.
Okay.
Ang
Kaya
susunod doon,
COA na.
sino ang gumamit? Kung
si Mary Grace Piatos, tatawagin ninyo. Na-contact niyo na ba?
Magdadala na lang kami ng piatos tsaka insemada sa hearing para hindi kayo mabore.
Pero ito, sinabi ng defense, hindi naman damaging yung mga land bank officials. Tama, because you're just telling the story, the beginning of
That's
the story. True. Okay. Now, will you ever call the VP to the stand?
Well,
Can you as the prosecution?
Yes. Yes, we can.
But can a person testify against oneself?
That's what she's going to say. She cannot testify, but, you know, 'di ba, 'yung 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 not to testify at all is not consistent with the claim of innocence. Kung sangkatutak, there are 4 articles charging her with high crimes,
Yeah.
grave corruption,
Yeah.
culpable violation. At ikaw, if you're charged with a crime, anong gagawin mo?
Siyempre, dinenay ko kaagad.
Magagalit ka, hindi
Oo.
ba? Or magfa-file ka ng libel or ano. Hindi ka pupunta sa ibang bansa. Ano? At doon mag-press conference. That is not consistent with a claim of innocence. I mean, it's not the ordinary reaction of a person who claims innocent. You want to go out
You want to
there.
clear your name.
You want to clear your name.
Yeah. So,
So, dapat, pag sinamon siya, if at all, it will be determined. Kasi kami, mga inuutusan lang naman kami. No? We are under the direct control and
Okay.
supervision of
But
the
you can
Panoorin
recommend,
prosecutor.
of
course. No, I mean, that's our value, no? Because we bring into
your experience.
years of experience.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
legislators who are lawyers don't necessarily have courtroom experience.
So you will recommend that she be summoned or listed as a...
Yes. In
Yes.
fact,
at which point for this article, because this is government
this article,
funds.
maybe closer to home, yung kanyang unexplained wealth, no? Kasi hindi lang yung mga bangko, meron pang mga companies, no? In the first place, kung vice president ka, you're not entitled to have you can't entitled to sit in any board, no? So she sits.
But you know, that is the practice among our government
Correct.
officials, actually. Right?
It's a practice.
People continue practicing law.
Correct.
They don't divest. We must be stricter. I hope with this impeachment trial, it should
Correct.
teach
Because nga, it's become a culture of
impunity.
Impunity. It's a culture of violence. If the reaction of a high official to a complaint, is violence. No? Kasi ang default reaction ng vice president is violence. Can you imagine if she were in a position, let's say she gets to run and she gets to win, what is she going to do?
Go after her enemies, I would suppose.
Go after you.
Me? Why me? You! Mas una ka!
Go after me. Go after me. And so, will there still be freedom of the press? When we have seen from her own father how the father reacted to opposition.
There was a climate of fear.
There's a climate of fear, and that has to stop. If we don't do it in this impeachment case, or if our people do not finally wake up and say enough is enough. Tama na, hindi na
It
pwede
seems
to.
to be actually what the people want.
Exactly.
They want strong arm tactics. But let me go to the question of Senator Lacson. He stood up in the hearing and asked, when are you going? You should have an expert
Yes.
on the use of confidential intelligence funds. You will. You will.
Yes, because the observation of Senator Lacson, he being in that field before, is correct and tama naman talaga. Kasi saan ka nakakita ng confidential funds na fixed amount every month? Kasi ang confidential funds is for activities designed for whatever, surveillance, etc., etc. But how in heaven's name will a DepEd have surveillance
Maybe
funds?
they want access to the cash easily. I mean, if I'll make an excuse for them.
But it's the nature of the beast. Dapat defined yan. Kung magkanong kailangan mo at kailangan, yun ang hihingin mo. We have seen documents that show fixed 125
Right.
every month. I think the point of Senator Lacson is that doesn't happen in the nature of confidential
Yes, but will you
funds.
have a resource person to explain?
Yes.
You will.
Yes.
Because he seemed frustrated at
Yes, because
at the pace. I think he's impatient with the pace, really. What's your assessment so far? Medyo nakakainip. Pero it's necessary, ano?
It is necessary to establish, kasi, di ba, before you reach the end, you have to go through the process. You have to explain paano ka nakakonclude na yan nga? Eh, di pakita mo yung storya.
Yung simula pa lang,
may
kailangan.
pera.
Yeah.
Na-withdraw yung pera ng mga opisyales na Office of the Vice President at DepEd. Saan ginamit ang pera? Sinong kumuha ng pera? Etc. etc. In the end, it will point, I am certain, through the evidence that it will point to betrayal of trust. It is people's money. It's not spent for its purpose.
You know, the question, it's not going to be brought up in the impeachment court, or maybe it will, but in the first place, it was Congress that approved that when they were still allies with President BBM. Why did they give confidential funds to the Vice President? Won't it boomerang also?
Well,
At that time, allies pa kasi sila.
we cannot question the wisdom of Congress or
In fact, Alan Peter Cayetano, Senator, stood up and said, it should have been given not to the DepEd but to the VP's office. When that budget was being deliberated, I think in the BICAM.
well, as they say, it's always 2020 vision afterwards.
They gave her the leeway kasi magka-allies pa sila noon.
Correct.
Baka naman may sabihin si VP na hindi nyo gusto marinig. Pag nag-testify siya.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Madam Vice President, bring it on. I mean, this is dapat nasa correction mode na tayo. No? If we are to learn anything from this impeachment, I think it is that first, we must not lose hope. You and me says, I'm twice as old as you.
Oh, you are not.
I haven't given up hope, di ba? If you give up hope, that's the end of us. If we become cynical and say, nako, walang mangyayari dyan, sige, bahala na kayo, pareho rin yan. Pagbalik niya, mawawala kayo. It's cynical, no?
Bunyog, bunyog, halikan na kasama ka. Bunyog, kapag buklod ay may pag-asa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, isa ang pananaw. Sa bagong Pilipinas ang bunyog isisigaw. Bunyog, bunyog.